Nothing feels worse when standing in front of your wardrobe that's completely full, but then realizing not one outfit feels like you anymore. And maybe that's because your body's changed, your career looks completely different now. Maybe you've gone through a breakup, you've had kids, or you're just in this completely new chapter of your life. Whatever it is, your clothes just don't feel like they belong to you. And that difference between who you are now and your clothes that are hanging in your wardrobe, it's frustrating, and it makes getting dressed so much harder than it needs to be. Your style isn't just about your clothes, it's about how you see yourself, how confident you feel. And when your wardrobe is out of sync with you, it's easy to feel a bit stuck. One of my clients, Holly, knows this feeling all too well. She lives in this little hippie town in Northern California where everyone basically wears sweats. She's a single mom, she's a screenwriter, and her life is this mix of errands and school runs, but then there's this other side of her world where she's traveling to LA for meetings and attending film festivals, and she wanted a wardrobe that reflects that creative, confident, totally unique part of her personality. So how do you create a wardrobe that works for both farm chores and film panels in LA? And that's what I'm going to share with you in this video, the exact 10-piece lookbook framework I built for her and how it completely transformed how she feels getting dressed now. So stick with me because I'm going to walk you through the exact framework I use when styling my clients' wardrobes and how you can recreate the exact lookbook process at home. I'm just going to start off by saying creating a lookbook is one of the most creative, fun things about my job. I absolutely love recreating looks, finding new pieces for people, and it's just such a dream to do this work. And I invest a lot of time and energy and emotion into creating them because I think you really need to understand a person at a deeper level to really suggest an aesthetic, a style that actually resonates with who they are. So with every client, I start off by trying to understand as much detail as possible about their life, who they are, where they live, what they want out of this lookbook. And then also layering on top of that, their body shape, colors that might suit them. So as I said, we're starting with a client of mine called Holly, who's in her mid-50s. She's from this little hippie town in Northern California, but she's a creative, she's a screenwriter, she's a single mom of 3 teenagers, and most of the people in her town wear sweatpants. And I definitely resonate with her because I live in a small town in New Zealand, and most people are wearing puffer jackets in winter. No one really cares too much about what they're wearing. And it can be quite uninspiring. You know, when you go to a city and you see lots of people wearing amazing outfits, you suddenly have this urge to want to buy lots of things and look a certain way. And when you don't have that every day, that sort of love, spark for fashion starts to deteriorate and you start to dress like the people around you. And suddenly you lose track of who you are and you're not dressing the way that you perceive yourself and your personality. And I definitely think it's important to invest time into your style because it's a part of who you are and how you show up every single day. And you want that to be the best version of you. Going back to Holly, not only is she at home doing errands, school runs, but she's also a screenwriter who works from home, but also goes to LA for big events and film panels and film festivals. So she wants to look confident, cool, playful, creative, unique. And she loves that eclectic style, but doesn't want it looking too costumey. And something she wrote, which I absolutely love, is she wanted to stand out with originality and flair, but in a way that feels like herself. With her wardrobe, she said it leans way too much into that preppy, minimalist vibe, and it's just doesn't feel expressive and feels really boring to her. What really excited me about Holly is that she really wanted my guidance to push her out of her comfort zone. It's very common for people to find my services when they're going through some sort of identity or lifestyle shift. And Holly definitely said that she's going through this new phase of life where her kids are getting a bit older and her career is progressing and she's a bit more visible. And she wanted her wardrobe and clothes to reflect who she's becoming, not the past version of herself. Clothes are one of the fastest way we signal that identity shift. It could be a divorce, motherhood, career growth, moving cities. And it really leans into this fashion psychology theory called enclothed cognition, where it basically explains how the clothes you wear changes how you see yourself and also how other people perceive you. And then I also got her to fill out my seasonal color palette quiz just to understand what colors would suit her the best. And her result came back as a soft autumn. And I just keep that color palette on the document at all times, just making sure that the colors I'm suggesting aren't going to clash with her natural features. So I've understood Holly's goals, and the next was building a style mood board. And this is where those words and those feelings start to come to life in a visual sense. And in this instance, I always like to stretch or push beyond the comfort zone so that I know the width or breadth of that aesthetic that she actually likes. And this is the first stage where Holly could feedback, which is a really important part of the process, so I know exactly where we're at and that we're on the same page before I get into creating the 10 looks. So most of these images are from Pinterest, which honestly I love. I could spend all day there. It's the best place for curating ideas or looking at how you can experiment with pieces in your wardrobe. So after sending this mood board to Holly, she resonated with pretty much everything, which is just awesome. As a stylist, you kind of feel like you're on the same page. The only thing she did say, she wasn't too sure about the big bobble skirt, and that's basically because she thought it was just a bit big and potentially leaning towards that costumey side, which was awesome to know. So I stay clear of that sort of style. And the other thing she wasn't too sure about was the scarf as a top, showing lots of skin on the shoulder area, which is totally fair enough. So I kept that in mind as well. So once the client is happy with the mood board, I can then start to create the wardrobe. And this is where I use my Minimalist Wardrobe framework. And so instead of thinking about just outfits, I always start with the tiered Minimalist Wardrobe Formula, which is the 4 layers, one being the foundation pieces and capsule pieces, and then personality basics, and then on top is dopamine pieces. And in this instance, I group them in 2 buckets because I don't think it's up to me to determine which piece might be a dopamine piece versus a personality basic. As I've mentioned in my previous videos, I think this is something really personal and you have to figure out on your own. But basically, to just give you a little bit of context on this formula, the reason why it works so well is because this theory called the paradox of choice. And basically, when we have too many options to choose from, like too many clothes in your wardrobe, you feel more stressed and less satisfied. And that's exactly why when we stare at a wardrobe full of clothes, we still feel like we've got nothing to wear. And so when you limit and start to curate your wardrobe in a specific way, you can then reduce that overwhelming sensation and increase confidence in the pairings that you're putting together. And I've also explained the whole Minimalist Wardrobe Formula on another whole video, so you can dive into that later. So in her questionnaire, she also shared what type of budget I'm working with, how much she wants to spend on each piece approximately, and then an overall budget as well, which I try to keep to. And she also indicated the types of brands that she shops from and that she loves, but was also very open to other brands as well. So she loved brands like Rag & Bone, Madewell, Anthropologie, and then she also loves shopping vintage, which is awesome. So I just said to her, I will suggest quite a few pieces that might be a little bit above your price range. And then I would just recommend that you try and find pieces, especially like leather jackets and things, vintage if you can, because it's always way more special and way more unique and actually more eclectic as well. So she was basically looking for around 100 to 200 USD to spend on pieces, and then maybe upwards of 500 to 1,000 for really investment pieces, which is great. So I basically try to work with a full spectrum of price range, which I totally understand. We can't all be spending thousands and thousands on our wardrobe. Okay, so we're starting with the 2 bottom layers, which is the foundation and capsule pieces. And this is all about reducing decision fatigue. If you are ever stuck, start with the capsule pieces base, top and bottom, and then we layer with personality basics or dopamine pieces. So with the capsule wardrobe, I'm really trying to keep with the most neutral colored pieces. And I basically have this huge spreadsheet of brands in different price tiers, but I also have brands that are just my go-tos. COS is just one of my favorites. They are just a little bit more of a higher quality at a pretty good price point. So I always usually suggest a type of t-shirt from them. This is just the regular cut. I have this t-shirt and she's a rectangle body shape, so I thought it would be great and such a good layering piece always. And I also recommended this grey rib tank from Donny, which I think was super flattering. And she doesn't have to specifically get these brands, it's just ones that I find that are great and I'd recommend. Next, I wanted to find a sort of variation of a tailored shirt. Because LA can get super hot, she might just be wearing a shirt and pants on their own, or a shirt and a skirt on its own. So I found this awesome scrunch shirt from Scarlett and Sam. This color scheme was very much in her soft autumn field, so I recommended it. It's super flattering. Curated is also a brand that I gravitate towards from a price perspective. It's got some really good basics, and this is also a little bit of a variation on just a normal brown t-shirt. It's got this really nice gathering through the front, which would be super flattering on someone like Holly, and that wider neckline would actually bring volume to more of the shoulder area, which creates this illusion of a waistline coming in like an hourglass silhouette. This is also a beautiful pinstripe shirt that I found from Breckenridge. You can never really go wrong with light blue. It goes with denim, pants, most things. She really liked that oversized baggy look, so I thought this would be perfect. So moving on to a bit of layering. This is just such a classic looking leather jacket. It's from a brand called Whistles. It's 100% leather, so this would be an investment piece for Holly for sure. But I do recommend with leather jackets you try and buy them vintage. It's such a nice shape. I thought it really gave off that film screenwriter vibe. I was looking through Rag & Bone because that was a brand that she suggested, and I found this jacket and I thought it was so great. It's a turn-one sort of jacket. So it's got this removable quilted liner, which is epic. So it would be really warm in winter and you could take it off in summer. And I love the collar detail. And this sort of color was really coming through the mood board. So I thought it would be an awesome addition to her wardrobe. Dish is an Australian brand that I love. They have really nice, basic, neutral toned pieces. So a brown blazer, I think, would just be such a great addition to her wardrobe. A black blazer is great. Love a black blazer. Brown, for her skin tone and complexion, I think would be a better option, as it's just a little bit warmer and I imagine it going better with the pieces I'm going to recommend. And the same with this cardigan that I also found from Dish as well. And this is 100% soft merino wool, which I always try and recommend when you're looking at cardigans. You want them to be warm, you don't want them to pull. If you're going to invest in a cardigan, I feel like it should just be warm. And I love the cropped aspect of this. It would be really flattering for someone like Holly with a rectangle shape, because if it's too long, it might not actually complement her figure very well. And I've gone brown again for a vest, and this is from Sir the Label. It's quite chunky, but I definitely see this vision of the vest over the scrunch shirt, which I'll show you in a second. And then in the mood board, there was a couple of longer shorts, which I personally love. I think they're super flattering. Like, I'm really not into wearing shorts. If you are, that's awesome. Not for me. And with high boots, oh, so cool. So these are very classic. They're from COS. Jeans are always a really hard one. Personally, have lots of jeans that I love and that I would recommend, but they obviously don't always work on every body shape. There are brands that do denim really well, and a Goldie is one that I always gravitate towards. They're a bit more of a premium price point, but I always find that their cuts and their fit and their quality is spot on. So these are a bit more of a baggy, darker denim. And the other denim that I'd recommend is a denim from Rag & Bone, which is just a really classic straight leg jean. I'm very aware that she wants this eclectic look, but she doesn't want to look too young. And if we go too baggy, sometimes that can look like you're trying a bit too hard. So a straight leg that's got a little bit of bag to it is a very safe jean. And then I also suggested these amazing suit trouser pant from Peachy Den. And I actually own these in the navy. They are just the most flattering, perfect fit. And they've also got buttons on the waistline so you can make it tighter or looser. So I love that you can sit it way down on your hip or up at your waist. And in the mood board, there was some white jeans, and I really wanted to find her sort of an eclectic variation on your standard white jean. So I found these entire studio jeans. They look like quite a great, nice cotton, but they have this sort of cinching at the knee. And I think just subtle elements like this make an outfit super visually interesting. And they're really nice and long, sort of sit right to the floor. So it would be so chic with some boots or mules. Okay, moving on to the shoes. Alohas. Love Alohas. They're such an awesome brand. They're from Spain. They're so high quality. I have so many of their shoes and I always recommend them. So I thought Holly could get some shoes just like my ones, but in a beige. And I also suggested these sandals that are from Massimo Dutti that are unfortunately sold out. but they were on the slightly cheaper end, and I definitely think the style isn't super unique, so you'll be able to find a very similar style somewhere else. These Mr. Mules are also on my wish list. Love the buckle, love how they slip on. They have a casualness, but I also think they'd be great with a skirt or a dress. And then I also thought she could do with some really classic leather black boot. Vagabond is another brand I would definitely recommend. They have such great quality. People talk about them all the time. I have 2 boots from them, love them. They're true to size. They're not too narrow on the foot, which I love. The pointed toe with a little bit of a square is so chic. I just think poking out of a pant, this boot would just be, it's just timeless. You'd have these for years. They go with a dress, a skirt, a pant, everything. If you haven't heard of Source Unknown, it is such a cool brand. I love their style. They're very unique. They curate brands that you don't know where they're sourced from, hence the name. But then they also create their own products as well. And I love this bag. So it's 100% cowhide, and it's actually not a bad price point. Super versatile. I think everyone should have a black bag. Safflon is a brand bag that have gifted me a bag in the past, and I love their style. They're a really, really good price point if you're a bit more price sensitive. And I was just drawn to this yellow. It's a bit of a butter yellow, slightly cool toned yellow, so it's just on the edge for a soft autumn like holly, but I thought it was cool. And then moving on to the other accessories, Cleopatra's Bling. I'm actually wearing one of their necklaces right now. They're an Australian brand, and I love their stuff. They've got like quite brushed gold. And I just think having a necklace, like a chain necklace, is something that you can wear every single day, super versatile. Something like this is just a tiny little bit nuanced or unique. And it's enough to wear every day, but it's also enough for people to notice it's slightly different. I also found the scarf because I love that look of tying it around a waist. Or you can tie it in your hair, you can add it on your bag. Scarves are a great way to bring in some color or some depth or personality. This one is from Dish as well. I just wanted a color that was a bit more neutral. And then I always recommend my clients have lots of belts. Whether they're classic, whether they have personality or interest to them, I just think they can really change up an outfit. This one's from Zara. I've put it in the Capsule Pieces because it's very neutral and basic. And then these sunglasses are from a brand called BAMB. And I biasly own these sunglasses, love them. They've kind of got that vintage, small, oval look to them. Very affordable price tag. And I think they're Australian. These earrings are from a brand called Lizzie Fortunato. Hopefully I said that right. I recently found this brand and absolutely fell in love with their pieces. And lastly in the Capsule Pieces is a beautiful bangle, which is just so nice to have. It's a pretty good price point. I love how they've styled it over the cuff. So when I'm curating these Capsule Pieces, I'm sticking to my formula. I'm trying to hit a certain amount of pieces per top, per bottom, outerwear. So it's keeping me within a sort of box or threshold. So the next 2 layers of the pyramid is the personality basics and dopamine pieces. And as I said, I sort of bucket these together because I think that's down to the client to pull out which part or which layer they think these pieces belong to. The way I find these pieces is a lot of exploration, and I'm doing this all day for lots of different clients, so I see a lot of different pieces, a lot of different brands and styles. So this bit is a little bit hard to teach as it's sort of a bit of a craft, but over time you can get better and better as it's just more and more research and exposure to different styles. First of all, I was looking on the label and found this insane set, and I just thought of Holly straight away. And it is a top and skirt combo that together just look so beautiful. And it can be super elegant or super pulled back depending on how you style it. It almost has an effect of a dress, but it's a 2-piece. And I love that because you can just reuse the top or reuse just the bottom so easily. Together the price point is a bit more of an investment piece, but I couldn't help myself. I had to put it in the lookbook. Second was this top from Massimo Dutti. I was really drawn to this because of the buckle. I thought it was super flattering the way that it comes and gathers together. And I think for Holly's age and her style and her silhouette, this is a really great top at such a great price point. This top is from a brand called One of Others, which I've recently found and absolutely loved. And this dark red specifically is so perfect for a soft autumn. And it's just a really good example of a personality basic. You wouldn't be putting this in your Capsule Pieces, not only because of the color, but the shape. It's like You can wear it super casually with jeans, or you could wear it super dialed up with a skirt or suit pants. And the red is so striking and beautiful. I fell in love with it. I found the striped top from Lovers and Friends. It's a bit more on the crop side, so hopefully not too short for Holly. But I thought this was a really great option for her everyday around town that still has a little bit of personality and style, but you can wear it with jeans or shorts and it's still got a little bit of uniqueness to it. I really wanted to find a double denim for Holly, and I found this beautiful shirt top from Mishki. It's like a really elegant double denim, but the only thing is I really didn't like the jeans very much. I didn't think the top of the jean was very flattering, but I loved the set together, so I thought that the denim that I put in the capsule wardrobe would be the perfect indigo denim to go with the shirt. And then I found this blouse from Zara. It's kind of got a boho chic vibe, which was sort of coming through some of the outfits in the mood board. So I thought this would be a really great layering piece. It's a pretty affordable price point as well. And also found this top from Zara. Love a pop of red. And I think as an undergarment type piece, I just had a vision that this red was gonna work. Next, I sort of wanted to show a vest that had a bit more personality. I love Garni. Love their pieces. They are such a great sustainable brand and really high quality. This is 100% wool, and the pattern is I just find them kind of timeless, but still really unique, and they have great color palettes. I have a very similar one. I wear it to death, so I thought it would be a great option for her too. Back to Zara. I know that they are fast fashion, but I also find if you can get pieces that are high quality and material, they can last so long and they are such great quality. They usually always have a collection or pieces that are that high quality, and I found this amazing suede jacket, and it's 100% suede leather and it's oversized and so awesome. These pieces are a bit more expensive, so they should be because they're good material, but I think they are worth the investment even though they can be from brands like Zara. This is a bomber from Source Unknown. I love the shoulder pad look. I just saw this and thought screenwriter, don't you think? Oh, it's so cool. I want it myself. This is a jacket from With Jean. It's quite plain. I love that it's a light toned beige. It's a bit more casual, definitely like potentially at home or picking up the kids from school. Okay, these pants are a moment. They are from one of my favorite brands, Win Hamlin. They are based in New Zealand. You might have seen these pants on the internet because they kind of went viral, but how cool are they? How cool is that shape? I love the buckle at the top. You really need a bit more of a crop top, I think, or like something that you can tuck in. But the silhouette sort of cape that it created was so unique and stylish. I feel like I wanted to suggest another skirt. Again, this is 100% leather, so the price tag is also to match. But this sort of mid-calf length skirt is something that would look really nice with the boots that I'm suggesting. And then this bag was also from Massimo Dutti as well. Very cute sort of red tones, which I wanted to pull through. And also suggested this bag from Frasier, which I love this pistachio. It is right in her color palette, and when you are creating those neutral tones, as I said before, it's quite nice to have a color that pulls through in an accessory. This is a brand called Giulietta. They make beautiful jewelry. I thought she could do with like a statement necklace, and this one really stood out to me. And also these earrings I thought would be a really good everyday earring for her that has a bit more personality. These are from Chanlu. And the necklace I'm wearing right now, very biased, but Samiro is one of my favorite jewelry designers. I also own heaps of their rings. And back to Cleopatra's bling. Also some more statement earrings is also great to have. This is a belt from Anthropologie. I love the big buckle with this. Anthropologie actually have really great quality belts. They are 100% leather, and I think it's a brass buckle as well. I also suggested another scarf from Zara. This one's a really cute color palette, and you'll see how I use it in a second. And two more pairs of boots. These are some Mr. boots. They are also in brown. Love their style. I love the height of these boots as well. And they're super comfortable. They don't have a big heel on them, but they've got the texture and detail that's a very distinctive Mister. And last of these boots from Zara that I thought were really cool. They have a little heel on them. So Holly said that she doesn't really wear heels, which neither, but it's quite nice to get a little bit of a heel in a boot form so it's more supported. So it's got quite a chic aspect to it. So that is the full wardrobe using the Minimalist Wardrobe Formula. Now I'm going to show you how I pull it all together to create the 10-piece lookbook. Okay, so when I'm creating the outfits, I'm thinking about what her life is like, where she's going to wear these pieces. So the first one, I wanted it to be sort of an elevated chic where she's just around town. She might be doing errands, she might be picking the kids up from school, but then she also might be going out for dinner that night. I really wanted to start with these Win Hamlin pants because they're amazing. And I thought about pairing it with that sort of cropped striped top because these pants are a little bit more high-waisted and you want to be able to see the buckle at the top of the pant. And tonally, they work so nicely together. This is where a leather jacket is just perfect. And a brown specifically works so nicely. If this jacket was really bulky and oversized, I probably wouldn't pair it like this because you've already got this sort of A-line look with the pants. So I quite like the streamlined sort of straight look of this jacket. It's a bit more elegant up top. The mules I think are a really great addition to these pants. And I've thrown in the pistachio colored bag for a bit of a pop of color, especially against the white. Altogether, such a nice color palette. Throw some really simple accessories and you have such a beautiful outfit. Next, I really wanted to center the piece around the red top. So this might be more of a day in LA, something a bit more bolder. And red with beige and like a camel tone is just so beautiful. They're both warm tones and they sit close on the color wheel, so it's almost creating an analogous color palette. And I love the oversized aspect of this suede jacket, and if you took it off, it then becomes this very elegant, quite streamlined look with the skirt. I thought the mid-calf was a great option here for a skirt. I don't think an ankle boot works really well with a skirt that's not as long, as you kind of don't really want skin showing in between the skirt and the boot. And I've also shown this scarf to wrap around the waist area, and I saw an example of this done so well. The tones in the scarf are just perfect for the top and the skirt and the jacket all to come together, the boot, and then the bag, accessories. Tonally, this outfit is absolutely spot on. Next, she said she loved a double denim, so we're definitely doing a double denim. This is simple, I didn't really want to overcomplicate this. This is also creating another analogous color palette, which is the green and blue next to each other on the color wheel. I love the idea of a pointed toe with the heel boot in this aspect, but you could easily put this with a sneaker or a sandal and it would be just as good. You cannot go wrong with a double denim. Next, I really wanted to show something that was a bit warmer but very casual looking outfit. I wanted to start with the shorts because I think once you own a pair of shorts like this, I own them and I just wear them all the time. They're so comfortable. And I just wanted to show, if she was wearing this around town at home, how you could make it pretty chic. And so we start with the base as the shorts, definitely adding a belt. Because these shorts are quite plain, I definitely always encourage people to add pieces like a belt. They bring visual interest. I wanted to bring in that red top with a layering option. So as I said before, this would be so cute if you just had a couple of buttons undone and you can just see the red popping out. And then the jacket on top of that is this really beautiful toned outfit. And then bringing in those Mr. boots, which I think are really flattering for a short at that length. You kind of want it a little bit higher. And then the yellow bag really brings it to another level. This is one of the most colorful pieces. It's got a lot going on, but it still works so nicely. And we're really lucky that denim can be such a great sort of neutral color too, even though it is a blue. It doesn't overpower or compete with the yellow and the red. And then simple accessories. And you can see how easy this is once you've got that wardrobe to start pulling things across and how tonally things work together. And I love doing this in Figma. This is all done in a Figma board where I can drag and drop and change things, move things around and start to really visualize how it would start to look on someone's body. So next I had this vision about the vest going over the scrunch shirt, which I think would be so cute. You could have the collar popping out. Then you sort of have this scrunch texture coming through on the sleeves, which is really chic. And when you take it off, you've also got this great shirt. I've actually paired it with this pinstripe suit pants, which is a little bit rogue, but that is what eclectic style is. It's really unique and showing a lot of personality in pieces that potentially don't go together, but I guarantee this would look so cute on. And I imagine this bangle over the cuff of the shirt. Sneakers for comfort. I love when you juxtapose things like a suit pant with a really casual shoe or a casual top, as it brings this really dynamic contrast to an outfit. And tonally, we're quite neutral here, but it's not boring. For the next outfit, I just had to put this set together. I love the two pieces. You really don't need to overcomplicate this outfit because it does all the work. I feel like with an outfit like this, if I put like a colored jacket or something that was quite bold, let's say the suede one, it really wouldn't work because you don't want to overpower like really beautiful pieces like this. If you really want a piece to stand out, potentially a dopamine piece or a set like this, everything else is just sort of complementing that piece. So the streamlined leather jacket here is perfect. If you had lots and lots of buckles or it's really big and grungy jacket, I don't know if it would work as well. I think it would be competing slightly. So this one in particular is just chef's kiss. It's great. I've added that reddish brownish bag, which I think would be really cute. It sort of complements the brown and peachy tones in the top and skirt. And then the mules are quite a cute option here. You could definitely wear a boot. For me, I think the mules are actually a bit more effective in this. And I think because they're a slide, like without socks, it kind of gives a little bit of a casual vibe, but very, very cool. So you could easily wear this every day, or you could wear it to dinner and it would be very, very chic. Okay, for the next outfit, I really wanted to style this suede jacket. And because of the crop, you have to be slightly careful that you don't have a really long shirt. I think it can work, but it can also go wrong. So I wanted to pair it with this boho looking shirt that you could tuck in quite easily. It looks like quite soft fabric. This white and brown here is really lovely. You've got quite a dark tone and a really light tone, so it creates a wider, stronger contrast, which is really visually striking on the eye when you look at it. So if you weren't wearing white and you're wearing like a black top, you wouldn't have as much depth or contrast in the look. So I was drawn to the white in this instance. The denim makes it really casual. I put it with the suede shoe, as this could easily be going to the supermarket or going to work. The belt is a must here. I've added the scarf to go around the waist again, and the pistachio bag just brings a little bit of pop of color. You could easily have a black bag here, but just to add a little bit, like the green works so nicely with the brown, with the white, with the blue, an analogous color palette going on again. Next, I wanted to show how she could utilize this beautiful jacket. And this tonally, because it's got this camel brown, I wanted to stick within that realm of color. It's still really neutral, but it's quite a warm tone jacket. So I didn't want to go too rogue with the color palette, and you kind of have quite a structured sort of masculine kind of farm girl vibe going on with the jacket, and I wanted to completely contrast that style with the top, as it's very quite feminine chic work vibes. And then these really beautiful straight jeans, pointed toe boot with the slightly red bag coming through. This is such an easy formula. Like, you could change out that shirt for almost anything that I've suggested in her wardrobe and it's going to work really nicely. It's just about the vibe that you're trying to create. So this could definitely work for an evening. You take off the jacket and suddenly it's this really quite polished look, or you have the jacket on and sunglasses and it's just great for an everyday. For the next look, I really wanted to show a casual chic outfit. This is basically my everyday uniform. I love a jean and a blazer and a t-shirt. It's got that contrast, right? The suit jacket makes you switched on, it's authoritative. And then you've got jeans that are like completely on the other spectrum. They're really casual, but overall this outfit, it just works so nicely. I've layered the Garni vest for a bit of uniqueness, color. If that vest was the brown one, this outfit still works really nicely, but the Garni one has a little bit of visual interest. It's got that eclectic nature to it. And then the sandal is again so contrasting to the blazer. I think it really works. I think a lot as a stylist, you're just looking for contrast, juxtaposition. You're looking at pieces or outfits or formulas that make people stop and go, wow, she's stylish. She knows what she's doing. And the 10th look is super simple, but effective. It is those beautiful pants again. We've got that ruche top, so very, very easy to throw on. And then this really nice with jean jacket. And tonally, this outfit is so lovely. I've toned it down because of the shoe, but if you added a boot, it just completely changes the vibe. And because I love this wardrobe so much, I had to do one more outfit. And this is showing that beautiful shirt with the skirt, very much inspired from the Moodboard. The depth here is really key and something that I want you to take away. If in doubt, if you don't think your outfit is stylish enough, just layer, layer, layer. And the oversized nature of this shirt with the oversized blazer with the really nice streamline mid-calf skirt, I wear this outfit a lot. I know that this is this is gonna work. And so that is a lookbook. With every outfit, I write why I chose those specific pieces, how they go together, why they go together, certain color palettes, tones. And at the end of the day, style is all about experimenting. And a lot of the time, I just love to inspire creativity and putting different pieces together for my clients. So if they feel like something might be a bit too bold, they might just change out a certain color or not add the bag or change it to a bit more casual shoe, but you've got the foundation and the inspiration to work from. Holly came back with just the most amazing feedback from this lookbook, and I just felt so honored and excited for her. I was so lucky to be able to do a lookbook with a style that I resonate with so much. I was basically looking at brands and pieces that I love anyway, so it was really, really fun. So she's purchased some of the pieces. She's recently reached out saying that she loves them and that she just feels amazing. And that's why I do this. That's why I am a stylist. I think clothes have such power to change your mindset, how you show up in a room, your confidence, and that's why I'm here. I really would love to encourage everyone to be the best versions of themselves. And this is such a dream to be able to do that for people every single day. If you would like a curated lookbook for yourself, the link is in the below, and there's a discount code there as well for all my viewers. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching. My Minimalist Wardrobe Formula is also in the link below, which is also very crucial when you're creating a lookbook and redesigning your wardrobe. And I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear your comments below if you are struggling with your wardrobe or if you've gone through this process yourself recently. I'd love to hear how you're getting on, and I will see you next time.